Hi, my name is Philip, and in this video I want to demonstrate how to use Crodox in order to analyze and extract subcomponents from your codebase using Crodox. In order for this to work, you have to have the connection set up between your Crodox and your GitHub account, and you have to have a functioning template that works on your codebase. In our case, we have done these steps already in previous videos, so check them out if you have any questions. And starting from that point, we are planning to work on this repository, and I have set this up so that it is already running. So this is how it actually looks like. This is a CRM project of a decent size, and you can have multiple views. And we are, in our example now, interested in extracting the dashboard component into an independent environment so that we can work on it on a reduced context and make changes and reintegrate them into the main project. So basically we start by just creating a workbench, selecting the template we want to apply. In our case, it's the Angular demo template, and the project is already set up, in our case, the material dashboard Angular 2. Now we just use the file tree to look for the component we are interested in our case, the dashboard component, and just select the dashboard component file. We can have a more detailed look into the structure by just clicking the file, and now we see the object tree that is created based on the syntax that is defined in the template, and we see also the components that are actually inside the source file. So if we unselect, for example, the template UI, we see that this is connected to the HTML file because it's referenced here. So every time you unselect this component, basically you also no longer are needing the HTML file. However, there is a dependency flag here so that the Crodox is actually recommending that you keep this inside because it is something you are actually relying on. So we go ahead and recheck this box. And all we have to do now is basically give it a name. In our case, we just say workbench. Lowercase letters. And now we can just create a workbench. We see a counter up there where it actually shows the loading process. And once that is completed, a repository has been created in your GitHub account, as well as a branch on the Material Dashboard Angular 2 project, where the final changes will be committed to. So we just follow the link here, and we are now inside the newly created workbench. And if we go into our GitHub, we now see that we have a new repository which is called Workbench. Similarly, we also now created a new branch inside Material Dashboard Angular 2, which has the same name, just with a Crodox underscore in front of it, basically. So we could now use basically just the repository created here, and you could use any IDE you are familiar with. However, in this demonstration, we just used the shortcut to Codebase in order to make our changes and commit them back to the project. So this will take a while, and once this is loaded, we come back and apply some changes. Now our workbench is fully set up. I run an npm install as well as started the application. So now we can have a look at the structure. So if we go into app, we see that we have the dashboard component now lying inside this environment. And once we go in here, we see the environment we pasted the component into, and here it is actually referenced. And once we click that, we actually see that the component is now running inside this new environment, completely independent of the original project. And here we can now apply any changes we would like and reintegrate them back into the main project. So now Copilot is finished applying its changes, and we see that all the background colors are now green, and we would like to keep this and we want to apply it to our main project. So in this case, we just work like usual. We are committing our changes. like so. Synchronize, and once we do that, we can switch back to Crodox, where these changes then are detected. So all you have to do is basically just load merge preview. And we see one file has been changed, and if we look into it, we see that the CSS has been changed. And to apply this to our main project, all we have to do is to merge to origin. Yes. And now the repository workbench will be deleted, and the changes will be applied to the branch we have seen earlier in GitHub. We see there has been a change made to this workbench, and we can look at the commit, basically, and see these are the changes we just made. So now we can build the main project again and see how it actually looks like. Here we see that the changes have been successfully applied to the main project, while the other views haven't been touched. And this basically presents the workflow Crodox is intended to be used for.